What you're watching now is a performance of Rodelinda, an opera written by Handel in 1719. And this is the most recent winner of the Oscar for Best Picture. So why do they both have the same music?
케빈 쌤도 많이 드세요.
The use of opera music in film isn't something new. In fact, some of the most iconic scenes in film history
아줌마,
are scored with
그거 문
music
앞에
from
놓고
operas.
가요. 앞으로 놓고만 해주시고. 네.
To find out why, we have to look at a little war movie from the 70s called
Put on War Off, sing it loud. Into the Romeo Foxtrot, shall we dance?
Whether you've actually seen the film in its entirety or not, almost everyone knows about the attack helicopter scene from Francis Ford Coppola's Apocalypse Now. And an integral part of what makes this scene so memorable is the sound and the score. Both of which were, in part, constructed by this guy, Walter Murch.
When I see the film now, that scene certainly does still have a fantastic effect on me. This had been in the original script, that we were going to use the Valkyries. This is John Milius's idea. It was Francis, I believe, who chose that particular recording, which is a famous recording. It's the Sir Georg Scholti's recording with the Vienna Philharmonic in 1966.
Most of the film score is composed of synthesized sounds with a mixture of other instruments like electric guitar. This makes the choice to use Wagner's 1850 opera Die Valkyrie stand out even more in the sonic landscape of the film. Wagner's original intention of his music was to sound triumphant and heavenly, and it's no coincidence that the opera's story follows mythic Norse figures who whisk the souls of fallen soldiers from the battlefield to Valhalla. In contrast, what we actually see in the scene is not particularly triumphant and is anything but heavenly. This clash of picture and sound, although less obvious, also exists in Parasite. There are two main scenes in which the score heavily relies on opera, and both are pivotal within the film's story. Firstly, in the scene after the matriarch of the working-class Kim family is successfully hired as a housekeeper for the well-to-do Park family. Up until this point, we have seen the Kim family use careful planning and quick wit to con their way into cushy and well-paying service jobs for the Park family. However morally ambiguous their methods are, at this point they've been successful. But the music tells a different story. Rodelinda is an opera that follows the wife of a king when his throne is forcefully taken from him. In this particular act of the opera, the queen, Rodelinda, curses the cruel men that want to do her and her family harm. The music is driven forward by Rodelinda's agitation, and the quick bouncy strings carry the music through this scene. In the climactic scene of the film, another aria from Rodelinda is utilized, this time being played by a string ensemble and a singer within the scene. At this point in the opera, Rodelinda is rejoicing as her husband is restored to his position as king and the status quo is restored. But within Parasite, we see the tragic result of the Kim family's own usurpation. In both cases, the tone and quality of the music creates a subtle dissonance. While the opera music may seem fitting for the scene depicting the Kim family's successful ascent from a life of poverty, as opera is often associated with high society. However, everything within the birthday party's sequence gives the expectation of a joyous event: the cake, decorations, friends, family, and music. But what we actually see is death. There are more similarities between these films than it seems. Both use opera pieces diegetically, meaning the music is actually being played within the world of the film, and both use the original intent of the music in contrast to the film's story to emphasize a point. Both films also included the use of opera music in early writing stages. In fact, director Bong Joon-ho listened to Handel and Vivaldi while writing the script for Parasite. There are some key differences, however, where within the soundtrack for Apocalypse Now, Wagner's epic orchestral masterpiece stands alone as the only classical track. Parasite leans more into a Baroque-style soundtrack. The composer, Jung Jae-il, said in an interview, "We needed to find a tone that sets the mood for the entire film. We thought of the Baroque style of music and some string instruments. I wanted to emphasize the characters' views in a somewhat religious way, but remain elegant yet comical through the music." While both films required very different soundtracks, they both employ opera music to serve their own needs, and as a result, have great music and richer stories. I want to leave this all off on the great words of Morgan Freeman's character Red in Shawshank Redemption, another film that uses opera, specifically Mozart's 1784 The Marriage of Figaro.
Andy?
I have no idea to this day what those two Italian ladies were singing about. Truth is, I don't want to know. Some things are best left unsaid. I like to think they were singing about something so beautiful it can't be expressed in words, and makes your heart ache because of it. I tell you, those voices soared, higher and farther than anybody in a great place dares to dream. It was like some beautiful bird flapped into our drab little cage and made those walls dissolve away. And for the briefest of moments, every last man at Shawshank felt free.